We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's today's news. San Francisco District Attorney Chase Bodine conceded defeat in his recall election on Tuesday night. Bodine was elected in 2019, promising to eliminate cash bail and divert low-level offenders into mental health and drug treatment programs. Crime surged in San Francisco during his tenure, his progressive policies turning out to be a nightmare for the city. Bodine blamed his recall on conservatives, but given the overwhelming support for his recall in one of the most liberal cities in the country, that claim seems to be more sour grapes than fact. San Francisco citizens are simply tired of living in fear. Global economic growth will slow before the end of 2022, and most countries should begin preparing for a recession, the World Bank said in an economic forecast released Tuesday. For many countries, recession will be hard to avoid, wrote World Bank President David Malpass. Several years of above-average inflation and below-average growth are now likely, he added, with potentially destabilizing consequences for low- and middle-income economies. It's a phenomenon, stagflation, that the world has not seen since the 1970s. At the beginning of 2022, the World Bank predicted the world economy would grow 4.1%. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine, that number has been revised to just 2.9%. The Department of Homeland Security on Tuesday warned of an increasing threat of extremist violence over the next 6 months, as midterm elections, the potential downfall of Roe v. Wade, and surging migration at the southern border exacerbate tensions nationwide. In its latest National Terrorism Advisory Statement bulletin, the DHS said the U.S. is already in a heightened threat environment, and the aforementioned factors could make matters worse in the coming months. We expect the threat environment to become more dynamic as several high-profile events could be exploited to justify acts of violence against a range of possible targets, DHS wrote. The bulletin notably focused far more on homegrown extremism than threats from abroad. Far-left groups have promised that this would be a summer of violence, as their progressive agenda has been blocked by Congress, and the American people have seen the negative consequences of the progressive wish list. Progressive attorneys general and district attorneys have turned liberal cities into high crime zones with their refusal to prosecute and lock up criminals. With their agenda falling apart, progressives are promising to turn to violence. A federal advisory committee on Tuesday recommended that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration authorize another 2-dose COVID-19 vaccine, this one manufactured by Novavax. Should the FDA move forward with authorization, the Novavax vaccine would give U.S. adults a fourth option in addition to the already available vaccines from Pfizer-BioNTech, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. First, however, the FDA must approve the Novavax manufacturing process, which has had its fair share of trouble over the last few years. Novavax vaccine isn't expected to be available for several weeks. Tech companies that once drove growth on the stock market are now dragging indexes down. As of market close on Tuesday, the S&P 500's information technology sector was down 19% since the beginning of the year, the worst year-to-date performance since 2002 after the bursting of the dot-com bubble. Tech stocks have also underperformed relative to the rest of the market, with the S&P 500 as a whole down only 12.7 points since 2022 began. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.